Hey Commanders fans, get ready, because today we have exclusive news about our team, and you can't miss a single detail. So take advantage and subscribe to the channel, activate the bell to receive everything firsthand, and, of course, leave a like to strengthen our support and show that there are only true fans here. Our commitment is to always bring you the latest updates, news, and everything that goes on behind the scenes at Commanders. So without further ado, let's check out today's news. Commanders need Deebo Samuel to prove something. The Washington Commanders traded for Deebo Samuel to alleviate their concerns about having a strong number 2 receiver, and the newcomer to the nation's capital needs to fill that role, nothing more, nothing less. The Washington Commanders' decision to trade for Deebo Samuel in March represented their current mindset: championship contention. Those two words aren't often used in discussions about the team, but the arrival of Jayden Daniels has completely changed the trajectory. The Washington quarterback has the ability to make this team a title contender right now. They've drafted some quality pieces around him, but they needed more to take it to the next level. Samuel projects to do just that, becoming the team's number 2 receiver and giving Terry McLaurin a true teammate. The Commanders haven't had a duo this strong in a while, and there's a risk involved in this trade. Samuel had a phenomenal 2021 campaign, but his numbers have fallen off and haven't returned to that level in the 3 years since. However, according to ESPN's Bill Barnwell, that doesn't mean Samuel can't fulfill the crucial role he's been asked to play. Samuel will create some big plays out of nowhere and get past some defenders. He'll drop more passes than expected and miss a few games each season, but that's perfectly reasonable for a WR2. He'll thrive on the high amount of blocking and RPOs the Commanders had last season. The nearly 1,880-yard total in 2021 is long gone, and Samuel won't reach that point again in his career. As a runner, Samuel may not be utilized to the same extent as in years past. However, Samuel has totaled 2,194 receiving yards over the past 3 seasons. He can still be a big producer in the passing game, complementing a strong starter like McLaurin, who is pushing 1,000 yards per year. Frankly, that's what Washington needs from Samuel. It's hard to define him as a role player given his star status and electrifying style, but focusing exclusively on being a pass catcher will help him maximize his role on this team. Commanders trade for James Cook in intriguing blockbuster preview. They'll have an explosive offense again this season, but another trade could give the Washington Commanders even more firepower. The Washington Commanders had a potent running attack last season, en route to a 12-5 record and the conference title. The run game was dominated by the dual threat of rookie quarterback Jayden Daniels, but the running backs also performed well. Offensive coordinator guru Cliff Kingsbury spoke highly of starter Brian Robinson Jr., as well as veteran Austin Eckler, and returning players Jeremy McNichols and Chris Rodriguez Jr. He may be pleased to roll out that group again in 2025. The Commanders traded Pro Bowl weapons for more help elsewhere. On offense in left tackle, Laramie Tunsil, and versatile wide receiver Deebo Samuel Sr. They'll have an explosive offense again this season. But another trade could add even more firepower. Sporting News' Jarrett Bailey picks Washington as a logical trade partner for the Buffalo Bills for running back James Cook. Cook, who led the NFL in rushing touchdowns last season, 16, is in the midst of a contract dispute with the Bills' front office. While Buffalo has not explicitly engaged in any trade talks, the fact that its star running back has not been paid after other key Bills pieces were re-signed this offseason raises some eyebrows about a possible divorce. If both sides are interested, Bailey predicts that Washington's ever-active general manager Adam Peters will send Buffalo valuable draft capital in exchange for the ball carrier. Waz gets RB James Cook, 2026 4th-round pick. Buff gets 2026 3rd-round pick, 2026 6th round pick. This move could put the Commanders closer to a Super Bowl contender, but it could severely limit their flexibility down the road. Trading a Day 2 NFL draft pick would leave Washington with no Day 2 picks next year, after sending one to Houston. In the deal that brought in Tunsil, that's after picking just 5 rookies in this year's draft. While it makes sense to improve the roster as much as possible to maximize Daniels' cheap rookie contract, that aggressiveness is a big gamble with only one reward: a Super Bowl title. If they don't win outright, the Commanders would be severely limited in trying to keep that core together. As crazy as it sounds, Washington might be better off holding on to its already thin draft capital, because they might not need a guy like James Cook. Commanders inexplicably include rising star in Trey Hendrickson trade proposal. We're nearing the final stages of preparations for the 2025 campaign, and the Washington Commanders are still being linked to a bold trade to address their pass rushing options speculation. Linking the Commanders to Cincinnati Bengals defensive end Trey Hendrickson began almost immediately after the 2024 season ended. He remains unhappy with his contract situation and is willing to sit out the entire year if his demands aren't met. The AFC North's stingy club isn't budging, so it's a delicate issue that could legitimately go either way. The Hendricksons trade talk has died down a bit. It won't take much to reignite it, especially if the All-Pro edge threat passes muster and skips Cincinnati's mandatory minicamp and training camp. Inevitably, the Commanders will come calling. They don't have many, if any, assets available after trading for Marshawn Lattimore, Deebo Samuel Sr. and Laramie Tunsil. But ESPN's Seth Walder thought there was a way to overcome that if they finally took the plunge. NFL analyst calls Johnny Newton expendable if Commanders want Trey Hendrickson. Walder's proposed trade raised some eyebrows. It included a 2026 third-round draft pick and a 2027 seventh-rounder. However, the addition of second-year defensive lineman Johnny Newton was the most controversial part, by a considerable margin. Washington is in winning mode right now, but Dorrance Armstrong is their best edge rusher. Adding Trey Hendrickson, who posted the second-best pass rush win rate on the edge last season, 24%, would be a big boost. Losing Johnny Newton would make an aging defense older, but the Commanders have strong veteran options on the interior defensive line in Darren Payne, Javon Kinlaw, and Deatrick Wise Jr. By including Newton in the deal, the Commanders could put together a viable package without a second-round pick. Seth Walder Adam Peters is unwilling to part with his high-end draft picks. It was a different story with Ron Rivera's picks, but Newton showed enough potential last season to suggest a lucrative career could be on the horizon. Hendrickson is nearly 30, but his 35 sacks over the past 2 seasons make this a risk worth taking. He won't play without a new contract, which Peters will consider. But the general manager has done a good job of maintaining future financial flexibility amid his drastic roster overhaul. Once again, that seems highly unlikely. The well has dried up for the Commanders.